guys, Joe Blue back again with another episode of Filthy Hunt Cheaters. This is going to be a bit of a longer episode than usual. I want to cover some of the previous videos that I've made. I'm going to do a clip as usual. This is pretty much going to be, I think, the last clip. After this, I'm just going to delete the entire collection of videos that I have and just start fresh when the new update happens in August. I'll probably just fill the weeks till August with other cheater videos, I believe, because I'm just scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's difficult to go through all of the clips with basically not really much happening in it at all. So we're going to get straight into the clip and then I'm going to comment afterwards. It's a pretty simple one. There's nothing really to this, and then we're going to move on to the meat of the episode today.
It's not in and out anymore.
Maybe it was maybe Discord jank?
Discord jank. Yeah, it could well be.
Is that you?
On me?
Running?
On me? No, absolutely not. It's come up. It's that little bomb lance. Jam.
I can't see anything down here, man. It's too dark.
Oh, I thought that was
head tap.
We had that easy win. We had that easy one, didn't we?
Like, how can he just? I can't even see the guy. He's just gone bang, head tap.
You can see it. Oh, on me? On me? No, absolutely not. It's come up.
Okay, so the moment that my partner hears somebody's there, they just pop out and one tap the dude.
That little bomb lance. Jam. Oh, I thought that was.
And it's a simple case of that reaction is crazy insane. It would seem like he was already locked to me with his aimbot and his wall hacks and didn't want to take the shot because he probably thought it would be a bit too suspicious if he just shot me straight up in the dark with a headshot. But as soon as the flare went off, bang, he just taps me in the head. Sorry, but I just think that reaction is just way too fast, way too accurate in that small window just to bang me out like that. I just don't think that's legit at all. I mean, it's like, what, a fraction of a second. The flare's not even touched the ground yet. It's barely left my fingers and the guy's like, bang, one tap. So basically he jumps around the corner. Like, as soon as he's heard, as soon as my partner hears that they're there, so they've made no footsteps proceeding. You know, we can hear footsteps, especially when you're underground, you can hear people tapping around and whatever quite clearly. For him to just hear that there's somebody there, then bang, dead, is pretty suspicious of itself. And then when I know there's a dude down there, and I think I'll just throw a flare down there, get some light. I can see him, he won't be able to see me. I'll have tactical advantage. And as soon as the flare basically leaves my hand, bang, I'm one tapped in the head and it's a headshot. So we've got this iCubus 4-star. We've got a KDA 152. He's played the game for some time. We're in the sus territory of KDA and he's from Slovenia. Minimum 50 games, 10-year-old account, and that about does it for that. The reaction basically is just way too fast, I think, to be legit. Simple as that. So we're just going to move on to the main event. Okay, so moving on to the main part of the episode, I want to go back to the previous video that I made last week in regards to the player Got You Good. I claimed that he was cheating mainly because of his Steam account that had him admitting to cheating, and just the way in which he turned to me and took a shot was a little bit suspect. However, this guy has got in touch with me and sent me the video footage from his side. Now, I don't know how he knew I made a video about him, so it's already very suspicious already. Somebody from my channel could have got in touch with him, that's possible, or he's got this information through the cheater Discord servers that he frequents or the general cheater community that's let him know. It's a little bit suspect that he just happened to know that I did a video about him. But let's just watch a little bit of this video footage here. This is his channel here. He's changed his name to Got You Good. It was actually something else before. Okay, so yeah, originally his channel was called Henry Morgan and he's changed the YouTube channel to something else. So we've got this video here, Easy Kills, it's the same title. Now before I play this, I actually downloaded the video just in case he would remove it or delete it or any such thing. I was going to boot up my editing software here just so that we understand what we're going to be seeing before I click play. Let's just go into an unopened brand new file here. Go to my downloads. Easy kills. Here we go. So we'll drag this into here and we'll change all of the parameters based on the clip that we enter in. So we click change. This will change the FPS, the frames per second, and the resolution. Anything like that will be tailored to the video source. And we go here to the details to render out, and we'll see that it's chosen here 29.97 frame rate, and I can't choose any other options. So this person has outputted a video sub 30 FPS. Now I've tried to reproduce maybe what the exact frame rate that he's actually using. I've not been able to find which frame rate that he's actually using. I've tried 15, 20, 24 and 25 FPS, all of which defaulted to a frame rate of 24 FPS in DaVinci Resolve. So he must be using something higher than that. I've not tried 26, 27 or 28 or anything like that. So I don't know if having a frame like that will default to this frame rate or if he has just outputted at this frame rate. And we'll go into the video. And just bear in mind that he has basically removed 50% of the frame data that we could use to potentially spot aimbot-like behavior, and we'll watch from his point of view. Okay, so that's what happened from his point of view. At first I thought that he had sped the footage up because it looks really fast. I don't exactly know what's going on there. It seems almost slightly pitched up a little bit with the audio. Later on in the video he heals. He has physician, so I got a footage of mine that had a character with physician who was healing and basically synced up the healing animation, and the speed was exactly the same. However, the way everything moves, something just seems like something's been sped up or pitched up or something's been altered. It doesn't seem like it's the normal default speed. It doesn't feel smooth. I don't know if that's just a product of the lower frame rate or not. So one thing that I want to point out here, I'm just going to slow this down. We can tell how choppy it is when we slow it right the fuck down. First thing is that we'll check this in a second, but come to here from my perspective. We're going back to my perspective here. I'll try and zoom in on this in post. Right, so I see him there. He's appeared in front of me. I've taken the shot. Let me just pull that back. So I've seen him. He's crouched. He's stood up. I've aimed. You can see here that his gun is pointing in this direction. He's clearly looking in that direction. Let's go frame by frame. That's the button. So we're going frame by frame here. He's looking that direction. And it looks like he's just started to turn. Like his gun is starting to point on a diagonal. And he's turned now. He's looked at me there. Looked directly straight at me as if he snapped straight to me through the bars, which I didn't pick up on before. I didn't see that he'd actually turned around, but you can actually see here that he has indeed turned around before I fired. And then the shot comes out. So let's go back to his footage again. Let's go normal speed a second. So you can see that little crouch. It's very, very strange that they does that little crouch because it doesn't seem like it lasted very long. It looked like it lasted a lot longer on my screen. So he turns around and I shoot him. Alright, so he gets shot. But again, something doesn't seem quite right with the speed. Something seems amiss. Even though I've synced up the animations and everything seems correct, it's just that everything just seems off, like it's not correct. But this is the part that I think is interesting here. He essentially double taps his ADS, right? He double taps his ADS. He goes to ADS there and then comes back out of ADS and then goes back into ADS again. Right, you're watching it. He goes into ADS and comes back out of ADS when he gets hit. So he goes into ADS and then comes back out of ADS and then goes into ADS again. So let's just assume, right, already we're setting off on a disingenuous foot because he is providing footage that essentially obfuscates 50% at least, a minimum of 50% of the visual frame data that we could use to spot any type of aimbot behavior. In the future, it would be technically easier to spot cheaters in the future when we get access to 120, 240 hertz streams and videos on platforms like Twitch and YouTube, simply because it's like a snowflake, right? A snowflake is uniquely different. Every snowflake is uniquely different. You will never find the same snowflake, right? It's infinite variation because it's real, right? In reality, there's infinite variation. When a human moves their mouse or aims in a video game, there's an infinite amount of variance and difference, the subtle movements that a player will make as they aim. The higher the frame rate, the more accurate, the more detailed the human aim will be. Every conceivable inconsistency will be recorded the higher your frame rate goes. So when you're using an aimbot, it's going to be more linear, more static, and more robotic. It's essentially going to have less points of detail that a human aim would have. So the higher you have your frame rate, the more obvious aimbot-like behavior will be to the observer. To observing it, you'll be able to see the static-like behavior the higher the frame rate. The lower the frame rate, the less detailed the human response is, the closer it is to a linear aimbot. So by removing 50% of the frame data in your footage, you've essentially deleted potential frames that would make your aimbot look more obvious. Now it would look closer to being something that would be akin to human at that frame rate. So it'll be harder to detect whether somebody's using an aimbot or not. So he goes into ADS, he comes out of ADS, and then ADSs again. Now, this guy's an admitted cheater going back to Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, games that are nearly 20 years old. So somebody who has been cheating in games nearly 20 years ago and is obviously got another account because those bans aren't on his account. He's got a new account, but he still wants people to know that he used to cheat in the Modern Warfare 2 days, and he hasn't repented from his cheating ways, or he wouldn't have that information on his profile. He wouldn't be proud to admit that he's a cheater and all of the ranks that he's achieved cheating. He's only done this because he's very proud to be a cheater and wants people to know his accolades and how far back his cheating career goes. So somebody who's been cheating that long probably knows how to avoid detection or hide his cheats without getting banned, and he's put that on his account and shows that he has no bans on his account, which means you'd assume he's been getting away for however long he's had this new profile for without ever getting banned, and his cheating career goes back to Modern Warfare 2 nearly 20 years ago. This guy's got 20 years of cheating experience under his belt. So if you were a cheater, it might be, maybe you wouldn't use wall hacks, maybe you didn't need wall hacks, but if you were using an aimbot, you wouldn't want your aimbot to lock on to people through walls, because you might accidentally lock onto somebody that would give you up that you are a cheater. So you're probably going to rely mostly on your own reactions and just have the confidence that you've got something artificial aiming for you that you can rely upon in a pinch to guarantee you a kill, or close to guarantee you a kill. So if you, for example, would only have an aimbot that would only ever lock onto a player that was visible, then this might explain why he ADSs twice in quick succession after being shot, right? Because if the aimbot only locks onto somebody that he can see, the aimbot might get confused by these bars that can see me through the bars and obstructs me at the same time, right? You see? So like when that shot comes in and he ADSs, I'm only partially visible through these bars. Most of me is completely obstructed by these bars. It'll only be in these middle bars here in which you can see me properly. The aimbot that is tied to his ADS function is probably going to malfunction if he presses his foot pedal down or his button that he uses for his aimbot. It might initiate the aimbot because he could see me momentarily, but then the aimbot loses track because it's being confused by the bars. It's only when I move out, begin sidestepping, that he re-enables his potential aimbot, that he gets a proper lock on me when he can see me very obviously through the bars. One more time. So he goes to ADS, the aimbot gets confused because it can't see me properly through the bars, and then he locks essentially straight to me on my chest. It's locked in his aim's pulling directly to me, it's pulling up to me without any deviation. It's like completely static lock and pulling towards me, right? And then he comes off of it, he pulls his aimbot off probably to make it look human, and then he re-engages the aimbot again, and you'll see the aim glide up to me with no deviation in a complete smooth straight line. Like that. So you see again, he goes to ADS, but it fails, and then he locks again, and then he like pulls his aimbot off again. And then he sees me come around the corner. And then instead of just shooting there like that, he again glides up. Almost in an L shape, right? And you can't really tell of the shape that it's making because of the low frame rate that he's uploaded it at. So you can see that it's going left across his body and then it goes up, straight up vertically. Like pretty much. So it goes left and then direct and then straight up. You see it? Just go frame by frame. So it goes from there. So you see it goes left, and then straight up vertical. Essentially straight locked on perfectly to the chest and then fires. So he gets a perfect, accurate, completely central chest shot, and it sort of moves in an almost L-shaped fashion to the chest. So it goes along one step to the left and then straight to the chest and then boom. And there's literally like only like 3 frames of like detail here to actually draw from. You can't even tell if there are any steps in between because of the low frame rate that he's recorded it at. That, like right there, it almost looks like he's perfectly pixel perfect locked to me, right? But again, because of the low FPS, we can't really get any more detail about how many exact frames this guy's like perfectly locked to me here. But yeah, a little bit sus. Another thing that's a little bit sus about this section here, if we unmute it and then let it go normally, he doesn't hear my footsteps. The fire that's burning on the left here is so loud. I've got it turned down here. If I turn the volume up, like he doesn't hear my footsteps at all, yet he knows that I've moved around the corner. I couldn't hear his footsteps either, to be fair, and I believe it's the fire was completely obstructing it. I don't think the fire was that loud on my side because I was on the other side, but somehow it was still obstructing all of the footsteps all the same. But this fire is incredibly loud on his side and it seems to be masking all of the footsteps. At least most of the footsteps. I mean, you can hear them, you can hear the footsteps pretty fine like over here, but the closer you get to the fire, all of a sudden the footsteps disappear. You heard some footsteps here, over here, right? That's where you heard my last footsteps were there. Yet for some reason, he seems to know I'm coming around that corner, even though I wasn't making any noise whatsoever. So potentially that there's walls or radar hack or something going on here, because he had no information that I moved around the corner at all. And the last, if he was a good player, right? If he was actually a good player, alleged 5-star player, then he would know that my last known footsteps were this position behind this pillar here. I have not yet moved across, so when he looks here to think, oh, he's not there, he must be going around the rock, around this tombstone here. Like he was actually a good player with actual knowledge, he would know he's behind this structure here, right? Because that's where my last footsteps were. He would peek here and go, right, he's not moved across. I could either hold this position, shoot him as he goes past, or I can just wait to hear where he's going to go. But instead, he moves to the next one as if, oh, I've not seen him there. He must have moved across, even though if he was paying attention, audibly, I'm here and I haven't moved from this position yet. But for some reason, he knows that I've moved, even though there's no audio information. Right, so he knows I'm over here because that's where the dynamite's coming from. He hears it drop, something drop over there, and then sees me come around here, but he has no information that that's where I was. Strange behavior right there. So it's like he runs down here, right? He runs down here and then he looks exactly where a player is, right? He turns his head and looks directly at a player. Then the player comes out, he sees the player there, and then he quickly pulls his map up, and then looks back, and then it's sort of like he's pretending like he hasn't seen it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really strange. Like, the way I see it is that he looks to the person, he's got wall hacks, he looks to the person, sees the person is there, right? And he's there looking, and then as soon as he sees the person move, it's like, that's gonna look blatant, like I'm looking in the direction of a player. People might think I've got wall hack. I'm gonna look away, pull up my map like I'm oblivious, and then make out, oh look, there they are. He even looks hard left just to like overcompensate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's overcompensating for the fact that he was looking directly at a player earlier. Knew he was looking at a player. You can't tell me that you're fucking 5-star and you can't see a fucking dude. Even with the shit quality of the video that is uploaded in, you can blatantly tell there's a fucking dude there. How can anybody who's supposedly high rated 5-star MMR can't see a dude who's right in front of their face, who would then go and pull up his map and pretend, oh, I've not seen nobody. Oh, and then I'll look hard left, and then I'll look hard left just to overcompensate, and then be like, oh look, there's a person over there. He's clearly got wall hacks, man. He's clearly got wall hacks. He's trying to hide he's got wall hacks. Like, who's he trying to hide wall hacks from? Like, you can't tell me that you're 5-star and you can't see a dude standing in the field. Even with the shit quality of the video, you can clearly tell it's a dude. How can you be 5-star and not be able to see a dude that's standing in the field? If you didn't have wall hack, that pretty much confirms your shit at the game, and that you obviously must be using an aimbot or other forms of cheating to gain an advantage, because if you haven't got eyes in your head and you can't see a dude standing in the field, uninstall the game, mate. How can you be 5-star, not react to that immediately? Instead, you're looking directly where the person was, and then you've just decided, I'm going to pull up my map, and then I'm going to look hard left as if to compensate for looking directly at a player earlier. Like, it's so bizarre, man. So bizarre. I'm convinced it's wall hacks. Then straight to it from hard left, locking straight to the dude. So hard left, and then like boom, lock straight to the dude, like on a perfect 90-degree like lock on angle. Not lock to him, but like he knows he's there. I'm so good at being a 5-star. I just stand out in the open. Like, if I was standing there, like all you guys in chat, all you guys in the comment know for a fact, if I uploaded a clip where I'm in this position and I'm shooting at the dude at the campsite and he shoots me and I go, that dude's got an aimbot, he's just shot me instantly from the campsite, you'd all be in the comments again, but you're standing out in the open like a 3-star. 3-star standing out in the open, but here's a 5-star to stand out in the open, letting those bullets just fly past his ears and doesn't move or budge, and then bang, just waits there for the perfect shot. What is he, Magneto? When he's just forcing all the bullets to bend around his head. I've got Magneto powers, mate. I'm just gonna stand here and I'm gonna make all the bullets deflect around my head. Again, very strange aiming behavior. So he's right here, right? Go frame by frame. He comes across here, and he gets to like about there, then starts going like vertically up to the target. Like, you see how he seems to be locked on at that point. At this point here, he's like locked onto the character, and then he starts vertically going up, and you can see like the camera changes, right? You can see how it just. He stops strafing. It's like he just becomes locked on and goes vertically up. It's like human beings don't aim in right angles. I've told you this before. Like, humans don't aim in right angles. This is an aimbot. The way that it goes, locks onto his like kneecap or something, and then starts going up his body. And this is a perfect example that shows you even an aimbot can miss. Aimbots can miss. You just don't aim like this. You don't aim in right angles, mate. Why is he like, he's like side strafing, so he's like side strafing, and then stops straight, stops and goes up. It's like, Is his movements mirrored and locked to the other person? Isn't that really strange? It seems like the other person, it's like when the other person starts sidestepping, he's sidestepping, then when that person stops sidestepping, he stops sidestepping, and then it locks on and goes up his fucking head. Doesn't it seem like he's like in sync with the dude? Is this like, because he sidesteps, he's not aiming his mouse, right? He's basically not aiming his mouse. His mouse isn't moving, right? He's perfectly center to the screen. His body's moving, he's crouching up and down, he's sidestepping, then his mouse starts moving, right? So he's not moving his mouse at all. He's just perfectly in the center. So is his hand even on his mouse? Has he just got an aimbot button? Does he even aim, or does he just have an aimbot button? Right, so there's no variance or anything moving in his mouse whatsoever. And then all of a sudden it's like there, all of a sudden his mouse starts moving. He starts moving his mouse at this point. But before that, the mouse wasn't moving. It was perfectly locked to the center. It never moves, except where it's like the reload animation or the shot that he was taking, his ADS animation, I guess. Right, but he's not moving his mouse at all. There's no variance in his aim. And then all of a sudden, he moves there and then goes vertically in a right angle from left to right to center to top, which is not human aim. This is an aimbot. And it's like he's just not even moving his mouse at all. He's just basically waiting. He's sidestepping and he's moving with his AWSD keys, but he's not moving his mouse. He just presses his aimbot button and locks in for the shot. And the aimbot misses, proving that an aimbot can miss. There you go, up like a right angle, shot, miss. Okay, and then the follow-up shots. First shot, sidestepping, following, throwing out the chamber. Immediately to the exact same location. It's like he's not moving his mouse at all. His mouse is perfectly in a specific position, and it never fucking moves in the slightest until it's like he's locked on the entire time. He's locked onto him, man, with an aimbot. Like he's basically locked on. Like look here, it's like from this point here, it's like his aim never changes. He's perfectly locked to the person, following their motions, and then shoots the shot. There's no variance in his aim at all. Completely robotic. So that's pretty much the analysis of the footage that I showed in my video from my perspective and from the spectate. And I think there's evidence there that he's using an aimbot. He's trying to obfuscate that he's using an aimbot by providing footage that is missing half of the frame data by sub 30 FPS, around 29 FPS or something like that, and terrible visual quality as well. And you can tell by the top right hand corner of the footage, if you look very carefully, you can see he's playing at like 250 FPS. He's got a decent computer to be getting those kinds of frames. He's got no reason that he cannot be uploading 60 FPS videos, and it can't be a storage issue, right? If I get the clip here, check the properties here. So this was June 12th, so this is like basically a month ago. So he's had this clip for basically on his computer for a month. So he's clearly not suffering from lack of storage space. He's held onto this clip for a month. He's had it for a month long and then uploaded it 2 days ago. He doesn't even upload. So you got to ask your question is, clearly he stores footage. So here's a little bit of more critical thinking. He is clearly held onto this bit of footage for a month, yet his channel has no actual gameplay. He doesn't upload any of his videos to YouTube except that last video unlisted. Now, there's one thing that I do know from my experience in dealing with cheaters is that cheaters tend to upload all of their clips of them cheating to YouTube as unlisted videos that they then share in their cheater Discord groups. They will share their unlisted cheater videos with the rest of the cheating community, and they won't be visible on their video page. The fact that he's essentially kept this clip for a month, yet he doesn't upload videos, would tell you you two things. He's clearly is uploading videos, but he's not showing them to the public for some reason. And two, he isn't short of storage space, so there's no reason he can't be saving 60 FPS video footage to upload. He's clearly looked for that footage, uploaded it specifically for me, and removed half of the frames of the video footage and done something else that makes it seem like it's faster, some kind of pitching up of the audio or something like that. I'm not sure quite what's happened there. So that's it for that section of the video. I'm pretty sure got you good here is cheating. Moving on to the next section of the video. Okay, for the last section of this video, we're going to return to a person who I've claimed to be a cheater before by the name of For The Heads, who's now changed his name to For The Heads FPS. I accused this person of cheating with an example video which it looked like he was using a trigger bot. I'll play that clip briefly now. But since that clip, he has been commenting on my YouTube channel and recently has told me that basically, you know, the usual rhetoric, I suck, you know, my aim lab stuff isn't really that amazing, my reactions aren't really that amazing, you need to do this X, Y and Z to prove how good you really are. And he's provided some examples of his aim labs, tracking, headshots and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm going to check some of this video footage right here. This is his channel, and we're going to play some of this here, and we'll go to around 17 seconds, 15, 14 seconds, we'll play some of this here. Okay, so he's basically doing some tracking here. I think I've got it on the wrong speed. Yeah. Okay, so normal speed. Here we go. He's tracking here as such. Okay, so let's just go back a little bit here. Let's go to about here, right around about here. Let's just go frame by frame. Okay, so let's move up into the proper section here. So around about here. So I reckon it's around. Yeah, I think this is the bit here. So we can see that it moves slightly. I'll zoom in on this in post-production so you can see it clearly. We can see it goes up there and then it stops about here. So I think that's there. So it stops here. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8 it goes off. So that's like 7 frames of pixel perfect lock on from this section here. Basically it locks on here for 7 frames, perfect, pixel perfect accuracy. Now I'm going to play a little bit, if possible, that I've played before on this channel of Crash Project, who's an ex-pro gamer. He's played professionally, not sure which game, maybe Counter-Strike, something like that, but he has played professionally, and he's talking about the champion. He's talking about a player called Matty, who was the champion for aim labs, can't track a target more than 3 or 4 frames pixel perfect at a time. So to be able to do more than that would be evidence that you're cheating. If you can lock onto a target, tracking a target pixel perfect for more than 3 to 4 frames at a time, you are cheating.
Matty is amazing. If you don't know who he is, go check out his channel. The kid can aim. He's crazy good. The second place guy's not even close. But even he can't stay pixel perfect for 7 frames. He's close sometimes. 1, 2, 3. It's moving, but I'll give it to him. 4. No. Back on target. 1, 2. No. 1. No. 1. Wait. See? Even he can't do it. It just doesn't happen.
The champion of the world at tracking in aim labs can't do that shit. So I don't know how anybody else thinks they're getting away by doing that shit. And then it locks on again here, it looks like. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 8 frames there. So locked on. It doesn't seem to lock on for more than 8 frames at a time. So he's toggling it on and off in an attempt to try and appear like it's legit. But if you're going over like 4 frames of pixel perfect lock on, you're a cheater, bro. You're exposed as a cheater. So he almost like stops dead there and only begins moving when, I don't know how you'd be able to time that so well, innit? Like you can see he's left his cursor, his mouse cursor, crosshair right there. Only when the object actually makes contact with his crosshair, only then does his crosshair begin to move with the object. So he's like got no aimbot there, he's like there, but then as soon as it touches it, it starts to move and lock on with it. Right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh, is that a move? think it might have moved there, so I think it's about 7 frames again. Let's just go back and check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think it's 10 frames. Yeah, I think that's 10 frames in a row there. We'll just pause it and we'll count how many times he stays pixel perfect locked onto a target. Okay, so I think it moves there, so that's a bit of a move in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it moved actually there. Yeah, so go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that was 6 frames there. So let's go from here. 1, 2. Let's go from here. 1, 2, 3. I think that's a bit of a move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4 frames there. And then from here, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 8 frames there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 7 there. 1, 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's moving a bit around a bit too much there. I think it's locked on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's moved off there. Then it might have been about 7. I think it might have moved on the 8th. Right on the absolute edge of the fucking box, mate. No way. Right, so 1. Okay. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's about 7 frames. Yeah. Or 6. I don't know, I think it's still locked on there that entire time. I think it moves slightly. But either way, you got 1, 2, oh no, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's 6 frames in a row. Right there on the absolute edge of the box, man. There's no way, man. Like, you can't do more than 4 or 5 frames a second. Now, if I went through all of this footage, the whole minute of it, I'm sure I could find one that's like 8 frames. But you're getting like 6, 7 frames. The previous one had like a 10 frame pixel perfect. All of these are basically impossible. Anything beyond 3 or 4 is you're basically cheating. If you're doing it consistently, absolutely cheating. Okay, I think that about does it for this episode, guys. You can't lock onto a target for more than 3 or 4 frames, pixel perfect frames at a time. If the world's greatest champion can't do it, I don't know how some random dude on the internet is just, you know, seemingly able to do it when they're accused of cheating with footage that looks like they're cheating. Blatant trigger bot-like behavior. Yeah, I'm just supposed to believe that somehow they're just the world's greatest, apparently. That they can track for 8 frames in a row, pixel perfect in aim labs. Nah, man. So yeah, that about does it, man. GG, guys. Laters. Peace.
Look, there comes one of them now.